December 9th, 2021. Start thinking about 9/11. We start thinking about, 20 years. It's been 20 years. 20 years. Crazy, huh? 20 years since 9/11. Start thinking about that a couple days ahead. Always a tough time for a lot of people, so don't forget to put, in your thoughts and your prayers, and if you can actively do something, please do. A lot of families still affected by that 20 years later. So let's get to the markets. Here we go. So ES right now, we are sitting at, where are we at in ES? 45.06, got down to 45.85. 45.78 is my first level on the flow. You saw a couple singles down there. You see a couple singles at 45.60, 44.64. I do expect that to come down. This is SPX roll week, so you got to work through it and you got to take your trades, and you can't sit in anything too long if you're playing weekly options or if you're just a short-term trader, if you're a very active trader. Looking at SPY here, right now opening up at 450.95, under the 8-day technically, 451.07. I do expect this to be, if you're a short trader, this is going to be a good trade. You can trade against that 451.07. You can probably get back down to the bottom of the clouds here at 450.08 at least today. I would expect yesterday's lows to be tested today. I'm going to go short at open as long as we confirm under the 8-day here at 451.07. I'm already short the 450s. I might add some more here to see how we see where we go from. So that's where we're sitting on the SPYs here. I do expect it to come down. I'm expecting this to be tested, the 21-day. Probably sits here. For a little while. May see it go down. I mean, the 50 days all the way down here at 440. This is the megaphone pattern that we're looking at. I'm still holding this top from here because it was a peekaboo above and dip back below. So now that it's back in the channel here, 448.86. If you do want to get short, I mean, you're not going to get much on that. You're better off shorting up here and getting it down. We'll see how it plays out, but that's how it's kind of looking for me on SPYs. Qs. Sorry, I got a cold now apparently. Qs, same thing, hitting the top of this range right here. The flow is pretty much bearish on the Qs. We've been using TradyTix, and TradyTix is a game changer. I recommend it for anybody, or you can just be a member in our room and get the TradyTix Discord. So, also we're doing our 1-year celebration. In case you didn't know, I'm sure you already know by now. We're just giving stuff away left and right, just for fun. And then huge discounts on memberships, 50% off yearly and quarterly, and 35% off there. You guys check it out at Alpha Traders Inc. on Twitter. It's only on Twitter, so we're doing everything on social media based here. Anyways, Qs, same thing. It's kind of no man's land, I'll be honest with you. I mean, it's just right in the middle of this big flag range. I wouldn't play anything on it until it touched the 8-day. You can play it for a bounce. It always bounces many, many times off the 8-day unless it stops its active sequence. In that case, you're looking at 375. You can get a nice trade. I wouldn't be trading the Qs itself right now, personally. You can, at the bottom and the top of the ranges, you can get a good 30-40%, but as of right now, it's just kind of in no man's land. Small caps broke down out of this flag. If you look right here, this is kind of your area, the 223.97. It's right below that to start right now. I would expect more downside here. It might pop today and then might come back right back down. I'm not sure. I'm actually not going to play this really well. I'm usually not too great at scalping the indices. I'm a better swing trader on the indices. So we're looking here at 8 days up here, 225. That could be a good trade to go red to green. We'll see how that works out. Apple upgraded today. Nice upgrade. It's actually above yesterday's close. Interesting name just because they got that event coming up on the 14th. We're in the 157.50s for next week. We're just kind of sitting in them. There's no reason to get out of them yet. Apple kind of lead us where we want to go, but it's kind of in no man's land technically. I'm glad it's above yesterday's close. That's always good. That could be, the touchdown and go up. But again, is money going to hide in tech and, keep everything from falling apart? We'll find out. Interesting name here, Moderna. We're in the 450s, but this thing looks nice and ready to go. 437.17 is my number for it. 437.17 is going to kind of, that's this up here really, yesterday's high. If it's above here, you can definitely get a trade. If you want to be even more safe, you can get it. I mean, this is a few cents, $4.38, $40-ish on a $420 stock. I think you're going to be okay on, playing that. You don't have to get too crazy with it. If it wants to just sit, it might just do this and tag, which is fine. I mean, that's what it does. Just wait for 438.55 if you're a conservative trader. If you're not, you can bust it out of 437.17, or you can wait for 407. I don't think it gets to 407. I think there's too much news. There was news about it developing a flu and COVID vaccine together. Very interesting. It could be something that could really move forward. Shopify been beaten down. Expecting a bounce here. It's out of the clouds. It's turning red as we speak. It's at 1485 right now. So 1485 is about here. It reclaims the clouds. I'm actually thinking about trying long here. If tech just wants to meddle, just wants to sit in the middle and do nothing, then this could actually be a trade up to the top of the cloud to 1510. I'll keep an eye on it at open. If it breaks yesterday's low, 1475, definitely a short, and you're probably going to get down to 1400. It's going to be a hell of a short for everybody. Really, you're looking above here, 1487 to 1511. That'll be your range to see if you can get a trade in here. Premiums on a Thursday, you're probably looking at 6, maybe 7 to 1500, 16 points out. Maybe it's 8. Little too expensive for my blood, but in the sense that it's 2 days and I'm paying that much money. But if the move is there, the move is there. SE, monster move up. It's just pulling back. It's consolidating, bouncing off this 8 day. It's been a really good trade. I think Freshy, one of my guys, Freshy, shorted this. Great job, Fresh. 8 days here at 340. I don't expect much more juice to be squeezed at 325 now. There's no more juice to squeeze on that short. I can tell you that right now. It's 21 days going to be sitting. It's going to be tough. I'd actually watch for this to base around here. You want to base, and then move back up. So it could just do this and pop back up. So we'll see how that goes. Roku, weak. To me, it wants to visit this 320 area. There's a little bit of support if you go down the line here. This 323 area here. I mean, I don't think it wants to get I don't think it wants to go to 287. I think it's going to get a higher low off of this. And I expect the 323. So today I'm looking for it. It's already at 334, so it's near the lows yesterday. So a lot of sell pressure. If this, 334.25 breaks, that's a nice short. You can get to 331 easily. This is a big one. Breaks 331, you're getting to 323. So we're in the 330 puts, so we're going to be getting paid a little bit today. We'll see if this thing comes down even more. Would expect it to. Just a lot of sell pressure. Nvidia had a nice short at the open yesterday. Didn't take it. Just saw it. Didn't take it. Just bought some shares around price that it's at right now. Pretty easy. Under 219.77. You short it. Or maybe it's the 8 day here. If it doesn't get over 223.80, you can short it back to yesterday's lows of 219. Because Soxel's looking a little vulnerable right now, so I would say I would be on the short side of this most likely. And there's Soxel, like I said, it broke out of this, you can already see that room here. About in the 8 day and the 21 day didn't help it. So next stop could be 50 day here. This could be a nice area, 43.13 area. That could be a really nice area to go long on it here. Lulu, just because it was a monster yesterday, I wasn't watching it. I'll be honest, I don't watch Lulu that often. The action is it's good, but it's not great for options. They're a little overpriced, and the IV isn't as good because there's not a ton of volume. So 376, I think it's already up. Good Lord, I think it's already up like a ton. Let's add it to the list here. Yeah, it's up to 428. So you're looking at it. You're looking at it's all the way past all-time highs and everything. So no trade if you're not in it, to me anyways. I mean, maybe if it comes back down, it gets under 417, you can short it. But I wouldn't short a freight train. That's not exactly my kind of thing to do. Overstock, interesting one. With crypto getting hit and bouncing back, you can see this small little channel here, but like, I'm a big fan of this 200-day, and it's playing with it. 70. You could get a trade here, honestly. I really like Overstock for October, maybe November, but October, like the October 70s, should only be about $3 or $4. I mean, and you're looking at that, 73 is the 50-day. So I'm sorry, the 200 EMA. If it gets to the 200 EMA, you at least make everything. You're going to break even if you go all the way to expiration. So just an idea, but I like Overstock today. I think I'm going to buy some swings on Overstock. It can be erratic, but I still like it. Let's check out Futu and Tesla, and let's get out of here. Futu, same thing. It's just choppy around that 200-day, like I've been telling our members. I mean, this thing's going to move once it's over, 119-ish. Once it's over this 120 now, it's 120. That's the 100 moving. That's the 100 EMA. This 200 EMA. Once it gets through here, you're at 115. Like I said, big rejection at 115. Where are we at right now on Futu? Wrong way. Futu. Come on, mouse. I don't know why it's not on my master list. I must have been. It's 104, so it's all the way down here. This could be a nice red to green trade. This could be one that you can play up to back to 109. And then Tesla, the GOAT. Well, the former GOAT. 755 already, which is good. It was at 764 yesterday. Very good. It looks good active sequence. I mean, this thing's just, that let they catch up a little bit. I expect this to bounce again. We bought down here at 742-ish. We bought the 760s for next week. 755 already. I mean, once it clears this 760, 764 range, it'll probably get up there today, and then it'll chop, maybe for a day or two, and then it'll probably explode to 780. So that's why we bought next week's. That's the theory behind it. Don't forget, check out at Alpha Traders Inc. Let us roll it out. Come play with us. Come, hang out. Become a member. You're missing out if you're not a member. You're missing out on info. Info, fun, talk, trades, the whole 9 yards. Like, we're constantly in there. We're constantly moving. We're constantly giving information. For example, SPX Roll. There's only a few people out there talking about SPX Roll. We've been talking about it since last week. So definitely come and see us. Come check us out. We'll see you guys tomorrow.